So we're swapping out GPUs today, and given that it's been an age since I've been able to upload anything, I figured why not knock out two birds with one stone. I'm going to break the process down into about 10 steps, and while this is going to be geared more for beginners or people who've never really done this before, even if you're an old hand, there are a lot of steps that I see people miss that are actually kind of important. We'll go into a little bit of extra context, but we're going to try to keep it as short as we can, nice and concise, but also making sure nothing gets missed. All right, first things first, we got some prep steps to take care of. Number one being download the driver for the GPU that you're going to be installing. The primary reason for this is we are going no network for the swap. We don't want to be arguing with Windows and any random drivers that it thinks we ought to have, so this will just save us a headache after we swap the hardware, having those drivers ready to go. Now, I'm going to be swapping from Team Green NVIDIA over to AMD, so here we are on the Adrenaline download software page. You can do your own research, and I recommend that you do, but I will have links to the broad spectrum driver pages for Team Red, Team Green, and Team Blue. I also like to have a separate software download folder for any project that I'm going to be doing on my PC, be it hardware swap, or if I'm going to be making major changes to software. Having a centralized location with just the executables, the downloads that I need, really simplifies things for me. If you've got a clean downloads folder, kudos to you. I don't. This just makes things nice and compartmentalized for me. And as you can see here, it brings us to step 2, which is we have to download DDU, or Display Driver Uninstaller. There's two places that you can actually download DDU from, and that's going to be either guru3d.com or wagnerdsoft.com. Now, guru3d.com is a little bit easier to actually find the executable link for, and if you just go right here to the specific version page, the current one we were on right now is 18.1.4.2, and that will take us right here. So you've got a download mirror in the EU or in the USA. Wagnerdsoft, you actually have to go from the driver page to a forum page to actually get to the download link. And they do have two separate installers. You can have a self-extracting like a zip file, or you can use an installer executable. As you can see, I personally downloaded the setup.exe. It's just a standard application. It will update existing versions, so that makes things a little easier, a little seamless. So as we've got it downloaded already, we'll just go ahead and run that. It's a simple setup process. You want to say, you want to acknowledge, say yes, it'll do its thing. You want to select whatever your language is. Next, you want to agree to the license agreement, and then obviously going to replace the same directory that your current install is. In this case, it's C program files x86, and we just hit install. It extracts. We won't worry about the README, but this is going to take us to a separate step and something that I really wanted to accentuate here. It'll tell you, like, you'll get this pop-up, but the other one you'll get is, so your options, you want to make sure if you're swapping, especially from NVIDIA to NVIDIA, you'll want to make sure that you remove PhysX, because like you'll want a fresh installation. There's something happens with, even if you go with a clean installation on an NVIDIA card, like PhysX is still kind of funny with them, but otherwise you can just leave the standard defaults and hit close. For step 3, we're going to want to make sure we have no pending Windows updates. If you do, process them, and then we'll take on from step 4, but we want to make sure that we're not going to be contending with a Windows update at the same time type. We're going to be changing graphics cards and drivers here. Easiest way you can get there is if your search bar is functional, depending on how Windows feels that day. You can literally just type in check for updates. It'll get you there. Or the other way you can get is through system. So you just right click on your window and you pull up settings, and then you go into system or Windows updates, and it pulls you right there. So that's really, really simple. If you've got a preview update that has not been downloaded, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that. It's just if you have a pending reboot that you want to be careful with. So just like process those updates, make sure you're all up to date before we take the next step. Step 4 is a precautionary measure. It's something that a lot of people don't do, and it's a really simple and easy step, and it's something that I feel like just gives you that save point before you put it in safe mode, before you start yanking hardware out, to just let you know, hey, we've got a place we can go back to, and that's by creating a system restore point. There's a couple of ways you can get there. I personally love run commands, so what we're going to go into is sysdm.cpl. Now, what this effectively stands for is System Data Management and Control Panel. You actually get into this menu via the control panel. I'll show you how. So this is System Properties, and we want to go into System Protection. This is the menu we're getting into, is System Protection. Now you can also get there by typing in create create a restore point. And this will take you via control panel to the exact same place, only it'll bring you right to the system protection menu. Now, the thing that we want to ensure we have here, if you have multiple drives, it is integral that you get whatever your operating system and driver set is going to be installed on. I recommend they both be on the same. What makes this important in the event that you need a backup is this is the C drive in my case, where your operating system is installed, that houses your profile information, that houses your registry keys, and anything relevant to the functionality, the boot order. This is all on the C drive. So these are other, the new volume E and D, these are my game drives. Your backup honestly will just be bigger, as there's really nothing relevant there. You can choose to enable them. All you do is you click on whatever drive you want to enable, hit configure, and then turn on system protection. I'm going to leave it off, but we just do a simple create, and it'll say create restore point right now for the drives that have protection turned on. So make sure your OS drive has protection on. It'll say in parentheses system, so you should be set there. So just go ahead and click create, and then we'll just go GPU swap, and then the date 227, and it'll create a restore point. It's actually really quick process, especially if you're only doing a singular drive. The restore point was created successfully. All right, I think we're on step 5, and that's to disable all network connectivity. So if you're on a Cat5, or what am I looking for, that Ethernet connection, it's simple. You just unplug that particular cable. If you do have a Wi-Fi capable computer, it still behooves you to go ahead and disable that functionality. There's a couple quick ways we can do that. So first and foremost, you just hit Windows A. That will pull up your icons tray, same as if you just clicked on it down here. You get your network connectivity as well as your sound mixer, and you just click here under Wi-Fi, and that is disabled. You can also put your computer into airplane mode, and your airplane mode, it's still in system settings, and then you can just enable airplane mode. But we already have Wi-Fi disabled. You can also disable Bluetooth. It's not as important. But yeah, airplane mode is also a quick way. You can also technically disable the network devices in Device Manager, but that gets needlessly complicated, and for what we're doing, I just don't think it's necessary. We're not really going to get into that. It would be in your network devices, though, if you wanted to do it. Network adapters, just for this video, we'll just stick to how we did it. Okay. Step 6, now we're getting into it. We're going to want to put this bad boy into safe mode. We want to make sure that we have DDU installed and updated, ready to go. As we saw when we launched it, it says put in safe mode, please. I agree. We don't want Windows touching anything, even if we do have our network connectivity completely disabled. We don't want the OS messing with this removal. So we'll go ahead and do that. There's a couple of quick ways. Obviously, you can, the old shift, like hold shift when you restart, that'll get you there. You can go into, you can just search safe mode, and that will start up menu. But this honestly, like, if you do, what is it, advanced startup, that will prompt a restart, and then you'll have to prompt again to put the PC into safe mode. The fastest way is another run command, and it's msconfig.exe. I'm going to have all of the commands in the description, but yeah, it's just going to be msconfig.exe. I already have it there. This will pull up, so it'll come up in general, then you click on boot. We're going to want to click on the safe boot, minimal, apply, and then OK. When you hit that OK button, you're going to get a prompt to reboot, and just go ahead and allow that to do that. Once you are in safe mode, and I realize that I'm not, it's easier for me to record this particular footage on Windows Standard rather than try to do it from within safe mode. So just follow along as you're in safe mode. So once we've got DDU running, we're going to want to select the device type, which is going to be graphics card. So GPU, and then what you're going to be removing is what you're removing, not what you're throwing in. So we would select NVIDIA. I want to select clean and shut down. Now what this is going to do is obviously clean out all of the drivers, all the relevant registry keys, and then power your system down. This is incredibly easy for everybody, because then we just, flip the PSU power button, and then we unplug it, we remove it, we swap the hardware. All right, welcome on back. I hope the hardware swap went okay. If you have any specific questions in swapping a GPU, feel free to drop them down below. If you'd like to see a tutorial, we can do kind of a broad strokes thing, but there's so much minutia involved in a GPU swap. It comes down to case, motherboard, GPU, and power supply. So we can go over broad strokes if you want, but otherwise, yeah, I just figured we'd stick with the software portion. So one of the things you probably noticed when you very first got in, assuming the hardware swap went okay and everything powered powered up okay was that you are still in safe mode. Now, you can get out just as easily as we got in, and that's simply by right-clicking on your window, clicking Run, entering in that msconfig.exe, and go ahead and click OK. Now, you'll just go into the same boot menu. You'll be in safe mode. You'll just untick it. You'll hit apply. You'll hit OK. And then it'll prompt for that reboot again. And you'll be off and running in Windows. The other thing you'll notice, if you did things right, you should not have any internet connectivity. So not connected. It's just, that's what it'll say. There's no internet. You don't have the Ethernet. Wi-Fi is disabled. That's good. So then you'll want to go into where you installed or where you downloaded your drivers, run the installer. As you can see, I've already done that for the AMD Adrenalin software. So we're just going to go ahead and skip this. We're right into the software. So after a driver install, I really recommend that you reboot one more time so Windows can properly update those registry entries. But after that, you should be off and running. One other just like parting note here is, if you've got a high refresh rate monitor, most GPUs, most driver sets, when you have a brand new swap, they're going to default to 60 or 59.97 frames per second. So you're going to want to make sure that you're tuning your software, your drivers, to your monitor. So you just go into your display settings, and then what we're going to want to do is go into advanced display. And as you can see here, we're at 59.94. We want to set that to the full 240 hertz that this monitor is built for. If you're a 180 hertz or whatever, 120 hertz, whatever you've got, make sure that you've got a good sync there. So we're just going to apply that. It's going to go black. Well, it goes black on mine. And then we'll just keep those changes. So, and then obviously the other thing you'll want to scale to, as you saw in the standard display menu, is we're running 1080p right now, but it's whatever your monitor is. It's just so my capture card can pick it up so you can actually see what we're doing. Yeah, but then you get your reboot and just hop into your favorite game and just crush it on that brand new graphics card. If you enjoyed this content, if you learned something from it, I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe to the channel. It would be huge for me. Now that I'm finally clear of the depths of tax season and I'm finally free to start recording again, I'm really excited to start building this community again. And I do apologize. I had to take a bit of a break, but the first 2 months of tax season, it is literally just 14 to 16-hour days, and it's just like work and family and sleep, and just unfortunately YouTube kind of has to take a back seat there, but I'm really excited to be on the other side of it, and there's just so much content I've got coming up. We've got the new PS5 Pro comparison against a PC, and it's just like, it's getting so hot with the new PSSR that they're rolling out. I'm really excited with some of the things that Sony is doing, and then of course we have some GPU comparatives against new games that are dropping. I really just want to say thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate everything you guys are for this amazing community that I've been building over the last year or so. So I'm grateful. I'm so excited to be back. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.